Alright, hello. I'm gonna change the stream screen in a bit. Welcome. Sorry if you had to wait. I still was stuck in another stream. There wasn't a conversation. I'm starting VTube Studio right now. And I can start the game. Yeah, welcome everyone. And thank you for waiting. Yeah, today we're playing Our Life. One of my comfort games. Hey Soda, welcome in. Oh, I can, yeah. I'm gonna put the charity thingy here again. Plus it's the Pride Month. We're still supporting the cases. Alrighty, I already did the blue sky post. I hope, I think, I know, I guess. I'm nearly at 700 followers on Blue Sky. It's nice. Yep, it's posted. Good. Change a few things, then we can play. Come on. I already played the newer Our Life demo. On Sunday, I think that was the first shoot. Okay, now we can just change to gaming stream. Okay, yeah, oh, I did already. Oh yeah, I have to change the game. Always things to do here. Keep forgetting what I wanted to do. Okay, let's see. To check which way works. This works, okay. Shove myself a bit to the side. This should be fine. Chat is a bit light. We'll have to check on that at some point too. And we'll have to change the design a bit for the chat box. I don't hear music. Now I hear music. I have all DLCs, by the way. Oh, hey Barry! Welcome in. We're playing Our Life today, which is a visual novel kind of slice of life game. And it's also a game series, like newer game will come out next year. I'm very excited for that. And I will just start the game. I think most is kinda self-explanatory. Would you like gameplay explanation sections to appear? No, it's kinda self-explanatory, to be fair. Here we can make a character. A bit similar, like in the game that I played 2 weeks ago. It's only 2 weeks, I think. But here it's a way simpler kind of character maker. Because it's not, it's the second game, I think, this indie studio net. Here we have the options of they, she, and he. To be fair, that when I played that game for the first time, that was the first time ever that anyone, anything, ever asked me for my pronouns. So this was kind of a start of my gender crisis. It wasn't really a long crisis. Now we're gonna make a character. Let's keep them. That's okay. There are also voice names that you can use, but you also can put your own name there, but then it's not voiced. I like Leaf, that's such a non-binary name. And there we go. We can also change this to like different hair colors. Then we have like some birthmark choices. Scars. Give them a scar. Maybe the cheeks, freckles are also an option. Hand size. Glasses. And a few more things. Fine with all kind of clothing types, accessory types. I don't like watches. I don't like the sound they make, it makes me slowly crazy. I always hated the sound of clocks as a child with a deep passion. And I still don't like the sound of like arm watches. And I didn't like the sound of clocks in general, and I still don't like watches. I don't know, my autism does not like that sound. It stresses me out for some reason. Bracelets, not really a thing for me because sensory issue. Necklaces, same thing, sensory issue. I can wear bracelets for a short amount of time, but I don't really do. Hats I wear usually sometimes, so we can put it. This is not really character, it's mostly not based on me, but I pick a few stuff. I have a scar on my elbow because I fell very badly in elementary school. And it's still there. And I have a scar on the back of my head because my brother pushed me from the couch against an heater? That's, I guess, the word. I had to get stitches on my head. So yeah. We give them a scar. Done. Oh, hey, Cartlight. Welcome in. Nice to see you. We're playing Our Life. A very cute slice of life, visual novel romance game. And I'm enjoying it a lot. I have over 100 hours in this game because it's a comfort game for me. Summer and Sunset Bird was a special time of year. A usually sleepy town began to bustle. It was a popular tourist destination with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach. Let me check on things. Yes, everything working like it should be. I have a scar on my forehead from when I walked into a door in the dark when I was like 4. Yeah, I have my elbow scar from falling and my head scar from getting pushed against the heater. I think otherwise I have small scars, but not really something. I have a little scar from my cat, but I like that one because if my cat ever dies, I'm getting a little tattoo there of the cat. Somewhere on my arm. Yep, it's still there. My cat didn't really hurt me. My brother just plopped the cat on me and the cat slowly scratched me accidentally. It wasn't even painful, but somehow it made a scar. It was a popular tourist destination with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather and the relaxation that came with both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing 3 whole months of schoolless vacation with it. During the summer, your moms didn't like you to wander too far outside of your neighborhood, so you knew the area pretty well. That included the people. Families came and went from Sunset Bird, but they mostly stayed and did what your mom called putting down roots. They built businesses, they got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved them passing their stores. Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the family-friendly residents waved or asked how your family was. Oh, Dredge! Welcome! Thank you for the raid. I give you a shout out. Worked. I always triple check that I didn't make any error. Thank you for the raid. And because I can. I've got you stopping the stream right away this time. Alice turn my... Oh yeah, hydrate. I have cola. I'm not drinking water. I can't throw stuff anymore. I think Alice turned the command off. Damn it. Rude. Yeah, I'm playing Our Life. It's a visual novel romance kinda game. Different to the horror games you play. So here was. Now we have different options, what we can say. Oh, are we romancing? There's only one romance option, technically, but it's more of a slice of life, like growing up game, so you have like different stages through childhood. So it kind of starts in the childhood, so yeah. So there's like stage 1 that's like, I think age 10 or something, then like age 14, 16 and then adult. like a growing up kind of slice of life. It's very comfort, wholesome kind of game. Okay. Okay, our options to say, to do, you didn't really get why they always had to say hi. They saw you every day, but you nodded back at them anyway. You ended up saying hi to a lot of different people, since most of the tourists that came and went every summer were the same ones. You were too anxious to say hi back to most of the other residents that greeted you, but they all knew you well enough to expect that. Yeah, go with the first one, because I didn't like saying people hello as a child, because my neighbors didn't know who I was, so they just knew that I lived there. Why do I have to say hello? But I would wave back or say hello if somebody says hello to me first. It was the polite thing to do after all, that your mom said taught you that to always be respectful. Oh yeah, we have 2 moms in this game. But today there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he was even a real person or a statue that had magically sprung up from the ground overnight. However, or whatever he was, you had never seen him before. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Bird was that people who you didn't recognize really stood out. That sounds interesting. I will get something to eat and make sure to return. Yeah, sure. Take care. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your moms called it. So for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. Your mom's had a talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. You hadn't exactly been listening at the time. You think it could be okay to talk to new people. They mentioned that some people aren't good to talk to, but other types of people can help you even if you don't know them. You remember that it's okay to run away if you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to worry about being polite then. With the sect, they mentioned that some people aren't good to talk to, but other types of people can help you even if you don't know them. You weren't sure about this man yet. It's just my reaction to every time I see a man. I'm not sure about that guy. First red flag, it's a man. Still, you felt a bit scared knowing that he was blocking the way to your front door, but you were pretty interested. You wanted to know more about what was going on. Whether he was nice or not, you didn't want to be bothered. I didn't like talking to adults as a child. Shall we go whether he was nice or not, you didn't want to be bothered. You slowed down as you thought about how you could get around this. There was a split second where your eyes met. That wasn't good. He was probably going to say something now that he'd seen you standing around here. Hey. You were right, the deep voice called out to you, but you didn't say anything. Unfortunately, the man stood up and started to make his way towards you. Not wanting to seem too approachable, you folded your arms and stared. Still unsure about him, but willing to be friendly, you offered the stranger a smile. Unlikely. There are not many pictures of me smiling as a child, but it's more an artist thing. I don't smile much. Or more as a reaction, not as a general thing I do. Your whole body was frozen in place as you approached. Yeah, just staring at people is a good choice here. So, do you live around here? What's your name? You looked the man up and down, taking in his tan skin and relaxed appearance. At least his clothes were relaxed. The way he was acting wasn't. He had sharks on his shorts and a stingray tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you expectantly, waiting for an answer to his question. Yeah, I live here. I live right there. My name is Lee. You continued to say nothing. Yeah, I don't answer that. If you do. He rubbed his back off his neck, uncomfortably giving you a small smile. Oh, money. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand as he held it up to you. Even more confused than before, you looked back at him. Well, could you do me a favor? Nothing bad, sorry, I should have let me start over. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. From where you were standing, it just made him look creepier. I have a son, his name is Cove, who's about your age. Cove, it seemed like a strange name for an actual living person to you. You chewed on the inside of your cheek. This guy was definitely obsessed with water. You thought it was pretty cool. Now I think that man is obsessed with water. He wasn't the only person like that in Sunset Bird. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured toward the house that had been empty for a year, his watch catching the light afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. The gigantic for sale sign was finally gone. You must be Leaf Last, right? I didn't change the last name, so it's just Last. I met your moms earlier and they told me you were 8, just like him. So, oh, we're 8 years old, by the way. I always forget what age stages these are. I just know it's kinda child, kinda preteen, teen, adult. He shook the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, a hopeful smile tilting his lips at the corners. Can you try to be friends with the boy? Just give it a chance and you can keep this. He's a good kid. You'll like him. But you've got to keep it a secret too, okay? It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. You eyed the man. You kind of felt sorry for Cope. Did other kids really get their parents to pay for friendships? Yeah, I'm going with the last one. Did other kids really get their parents to pay for friendships? Had your mom done that for you and Lizzie, the thought made you frown. What'd you say? Want to make a deal? I want the money. You took the bill, you didn't want the money, you ran away. I take the money. He carefully plucked the bill from his outstretched hand, grinning at the thought of what you could do with that much cash. All the sweets you could ever want. You could buy a ticket for the newest movie at the cinema. There was a cute stuffed animal you had seen in a store in town. It cost a few dollars to set up a library card. With this, you could pay for yourself instead of having your moms to do it. You weren't even sure yet. I want a plushie. I want a squishmallow. It was gonna be able to go home with you. That was just the start, you thought. The sky was the limit with that kind of amount. The man smiled at you, his eyes twinkling at the side as he did. Great, that's great. I'll bring him by tomorrow. I want him to meet and greet with the neighbors today, but, well, I don't know where he's gotten off to. You lost your child, and the first thing you do is tell me to go befriend him? Go search for your child. I laughed when he said that, but with the way his face looked, you thought he actually wanted to cry. Oh no, poor guy. If you see him, can you tell him to come on home? He's got a pink cast and glasses. You can't miss it. Yeah, probably not. Can I keep this either way? Sure thing, I can try. Okay, can I keep this either way? He chuckled at you and rested his hand on his hips. You sure can. The man smiled and reached out to pat you on the head. Paused before doing so, then pulled his hand away instead. Your moms are already checking around for me. Such a thoughtful group you are. Now I better go look too. I can't put everyone else to work while I keep sitting here. I thought they might come back, and that's not what is important. I have to go. Thanks again, Leaf, so much. He jogged off down the street without another word. You decided to check the hills behind your house. Step 1. First sight. The chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quite familiar. From the top of the hill you could see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of the waves on the shore, and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. You always loved the ocean, it was much fun, or you loved to hear stories about the sea, about the merfolk and sea serpents, just imagined living far beneath the waves. You didn't enjoy the beach all that much, especially the sand, which got absolutely everywhere. Am I Anakin Skywalker? No. I like the merfolk. You loved to hear stories about the sea, about the merfolk and sea serpents. You imagined living far beneath the waves. That's a nice thing. Sometimes you could almost convince yourself you had seen the flash of a shiny mermaid's tail in the distance. You took in a deep breath, you wanted to try to relax and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you that you weren't alone, so you glanced around. Let's Cove. There was a boy sitting at the top of one hill, almost completely hidden within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, probably just that he... This art is so gorgeous. Yeah, this is from the visual novel. Thank you. Really howling again at me. I don't deserve this. I am innocent. Yeah. You have absolutely no proof of that. Of anything. I remember this game. Oh. Yeah, it's our life. Still waiting for that aggressive kiss in the basement. No! No. You get the bonk. That's what you get. Ouch. Yeah, I can bonk people here. Yeah, to check something. Okay, yeah, back to the game. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him a minute longer, feeling a little bit like you found a deer in the wild. Though a deer didn't have green hair, wavy eyebrows, huge glasses, pink eyes, sad frowns. Green hair. But this new boy did. Oh yeah, by the way, for the people who are interested in this game, the base game is free. I also usually put I have the link on the Blue Sky poster to the game, but generally it's named Our Life. You will find it on Steam. And an issue or two, I think. You watch it as it fluttered softly around his face in the breeze. After a few more seconds, he took a step forward, then another. And then he glanced away. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. He stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show you weren't scary. Hi, Space Cadet. Are you lost? Get straight to the person. Are you lost? I still want to know in what way we're asking that, because I can absolutely sarcastically ask, are you lost? With a start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balling into fists at his sides. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks, and his knees soaking the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You had obviously caught him off guard. His pink eyes seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he did hit his arm behind his back. Something the man earlier had said stuck out to you. Cove? Eyes wide, he studied you. How would you know that? You touched the money in your pocket, feeling it crinkle beneath your fingertips. I met your dad. I'm all-knowing. Lucky guess. I'm all-knowing. That's a lie. Tell the truth. Okay, your dad told me who you were. So, is this your hill? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. Yep. You can't own a hill? You shook your head. I shake my head. While doing so, you also picked at the strand of lint on your leg. What a weird question to ask someone. Oh. He sat back down with the thumb resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about this strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered his hill rocked back and forth gently, as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. Night wind was cool as it traveled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why are you here? Why would your family move? Why are you here? The quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked the question. Checking on something? Okay. Almost like they never stopped, his tears started up again with a vengeance. My parents. They don't want to live together with me anymore. Tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mom made my dad leave and he took me with him, and now we have a house here and I want to go home. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. He sniffled and removed his glasses, wiping at his eyes with the back of his hand, before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mom. I'm sorry, your dad seems kinda nice. She liked you, just have to get used to it. Stop crying. I think at that age I would have probably said nothing to that. Because I wouldn't say, you know what? I'm sorry. He slipped his hands underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove pulled himself up again for another long crying fit. You felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. You couldn't imagine what it would feel like to live with only one of your moms, but it must be pretty hard. But from way off in the distance, you heard your parents. Leave? Cove? Kids, where did you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here. I don't want to go back home to that house. I want to go home. You can handle it. You have to go. Don't worry so much. Sorry, I have to. It will be okay. It will be okay. He was struck by a sudden need to reassure Cove. It's not gonna all be fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, I guess. Then you can count on him when you really, really need him. You shot him a grin and pushed yourself to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, Still looking a little reluctant. I have to think one thingy here open. Let me check my stream manager real quick. Stream manager doesn't want to work. Okay. Now I see more stuff. At the wrong thing. Okay. Oh, thank you for the follow, Nick. I heard it before the message, but I only saw it now in the thingy. Okay, back to the game. Slowly Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked toward the sound of his dad's voice, silent, and turned away while rubbing his not bandaged arm. Sorry, I still don't want to go. You waited we have the option you called out yourself, you waited silently with him, you tried to convince him. You waited silently with him. Yeah, I get it. You do? Before you could answer, you heard Cove's dad, even closer than before. There you are, bud. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you and they rushed over. Both of your moms were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. These are our moms now. Leap, you're here after all. We had been at the park to check for Cove and then heard that what happened earlier when you met the new neighbor. I thought you might have gone off further away. No, we were just sitting in the grass. Why is everybody acting like this is such a big thing? We're okay, don't worry. Cove didn't want to go home just yet. No, we were just sitting in the grass. Thank God you're both fine. Were you two having fun out there? We looked over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing at his arms. You shrugged. Yes, I like him. He's good. I think I'm gonna marry him. I shrugged. He's new here. It was okay. Finally letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you. Thanks very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighborhood. Good thing Leap knows this whole area so well. Absolutely, we should be getting home now. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove. Bye. The two of them walked off into the darkness, heading towards the neighborhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Tell you what, we have a proper playdate tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. Lizzie's our older sister. How does that sound? Sure, can I show her my stuff? It sounds like words. You nodded, ducking your head down. I nod. Both of your moms laughed, the sound of overlapping into warm, familiar chores. Mommy put her arm around your shoulder and led you towards her path. Satisfied, more than a little ready to go to bed after your long, exciting day, you followed them home. Okay, now we get to choose the comfort level. We can interact with Cove, we can be nervous, relaxed, or direct. Relaxed. We can have crush, we can have bond, we can have indifferent. Indifferent is pretty much, yeah, we are just neighbors, we exist, coexist. Fond is like we're friends. And yeah, crush is, I think, self-explanatory. Let's go with fond this time. Begin step 1 at relaxed fondness. You won't be able to change it again until step 2. Yes. Breakfast table the next morning. You finished your food faster than usual. Your sister Lizzie had run out earlier to go play, but you stayed put. Today, just like your moms had promised, Cope was coming over to hang out. Excited to see your new friend again, Lee? Yeah, I am.
How sweet.
How sweet. I'm so happy he moved in.
Okay.
With that said, are you done with your breakfast? Yeah. Haha, I do know, am I? Your bowl was entirely empty, so you nodded. Yeah. With all the exasperation an 8-year-old can muster, you looked at your empty cereal bowl, then at Mom.
Okay.
Okay, attitude, kid. We see. Good job. You should be here soon. He should be here soon. Clean up began, and then on cue there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't sure they were in the right place. Still loud though. We need to get the more obvious doorbell. I know. Leave, could you get it? Wiggling out of the chair without really pushing it back, you made your way to the door. Hey, Last Family, thanks for having us. Mr. Holden, as your moms have called him, and his son were here. Cough looked different in the bright lighting of the living room when he wasn't crying. With his dad standing in front of them and Mommy behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. He would be such a different vibe if his name was Cave. Then he would probably look emo. Pleased to see your new friend again, you smiled at Cove. He smiled back with some hesitation. Let's go play in my room. Okay.
Take care.
Let us know if you need anything here too. Have fun, kids. See you later, son. Play nice. Led him to your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. There were lots of stuffed animals, a cool bed, a window to look out. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to know it to in a while, but you were really proud of it. He leaned in a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. Me too. I drew that. Thank you. I don't. I drew that. Cool. You smiled at him. You were proud of that particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed it. Turned to look around the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on the wall. You started to feel a bit nervous. You felt the atmosphere was kind of awkward. You were glad for the company. You hoped he liked your room. I kinda had to laugh about you hoped he liked your room. I had a K-pop standee in my room as a teenager, and people sometimes got scared when they walked past the room because they thought somebody was standing there. It was hilarious. And I got that gifted, the standee, by another friend. I had a lot of K-pop in my room. I shared my room with my brother though, and yeah. He was more into the punk rock direction, so his side of the room was covered in punk and rock posters, and mine was covered in K-pop. Looked interesting, for sure. You were glad for the company. It was nice to have someone new to play with. Then his eyes landed on a tiny box of beach things you'd collected, tucked away by your door. He took a step towards it before hesitating and pointing at it instead. What's that? A hoard of stuff I found on the beach.
Oh.
Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging the box into the middle of the room, you and Carl flopped down next to it. I think so, yeah, see. He gestured to a piece at the bottom, still covered with specks of sand. Neat, this is good collection. He got the sense from the tone of his voice that he wasn't just saying it to be nice or to be like Shiloh, he actually meant it. Gosh, I hate Shiloh. It's a piece of shit. You will get to know Shiloh. He sucks. Alright, I almost forgot. Sheila is gonna be here today. Sheila? Lizzie's friend, or like her #1 fan, I guess? Do I have to see him? Should be okay. I mean, he's Lizzie's friend, not mine, but you know. Come on, check out my shells some more. I found this one under a big piece of seaweed that had washed ashore, and pulled out seashell after seashell, explaining where you'd gotten each one and holding them up against the light. There were big ones, small ones, pink, purples, and orange. Most of them you washed off in the bathroom thing when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Over the past 3 years, you had even learned some of their scientific names. But the collection was so huge and varied that you had lots of funny stories to tell for all of them. You first faltered a little bit, but you kept going as best as you could. I'm going with the last one. You were really proud of your shell collection, and it made you happy that Cove was interested in it too. Apparently fascinated either by the stories or by the shells themselves, Cove listened it with what looked like the full force of his attention. It was a new experience to be the center of such dedicated focus. But Cove hadn't been mean to you, so you didn't mind. You smiled at him, every now and then while showing him your collection. Kids, come down to the living room. You could tell the idea was making him unhappy, but Mary wasn't giving you much of a chance to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guess it was because he thinks you found each other by accident, not that a parent made it happen. Mr. Holden must be right that telling Cove his dad was part of that would be a bad idea. His dad gave us $20 to befriend his son. I took the money. Of course. Before you knew it, we'd both been escorted downstairs and deposited in the living room, ready for Sheila's visit. The two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entryway. I brought the box of shells. I want to keep looking at them. Great. Okay, but be careful. You should have asked. Okay, but be careful. I will. You weren't sure if you could trust someone else with your treasures yet, so you stayed next to him while he opened the lid and peered inside. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh. Like he hadn't spoken aloud yet, he turned to you and held it up, his eyes shining. I think this one is the best of them. That's my favorite too. I like different one best. I can show it to you. You can take it. You can take it. Cove looked at you in surprise, his eyes going wide. Really? Sure. You like it a lot, right? Uh-huh. But I don't want to take it from you. It's okay. Got the impression he was hesitant to accept something because he didn't know you very well. You let it go, you insisted. I let it go. Okay. You didn't want to pressure Cove too much. It was supposed to make him happy, not nervous. Plus, Cove was your neighbor. Now maybe you could give it to him another time. The two of you were still sitting on the floor, looking through your collection of beach findings, when the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the person hadn't knocked, you figured it was probably Shiloh. You knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? He nodded, but didn't seem to make Cove feel better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell what he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. He'll be alright. He's here where you can tell him to leave. He's at our only door, and if you go upstairs, he will find you. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused with his gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. He was already walking towards it. Scrambling to think of something to say, you stepped forward, then paused. Do you want to break your other arm? Sheila is the least scary person alive. Cheer up, Sheila's gonna like you. Please don't get hurt. I come with you. Good idea, let's go. I come with you. Hurry, they see where we're going. He glanced back at you, then nodded. The two of you made your way to the window together. It wasn't much of distance to clamber out, but by the time you landed gently in the bushes. I went with him too, Oh, Helena binary cat then. Yeah, I think it's such a fun option as you just can climb with them out of the window. And I think the window is not high. I think it's then on base level kind of window. So you just climb out of it. It's safe. I also hate Chilo. Sucks. But I also played the game a lot. I think people who don't know Chilo probably maybe would have said hey hi to Chilo. I don't know. I think I did the first time. It's just fun that you can't really do wrong in this game. Like, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, hello. The cow, I like that. It's cute. It wasn't much of a distance to clamber out, but by the time you landed, gently in the bushes. You looked up to see that Cove was already taking off away from the house. He was fast, but you knew you could outrun him if you had to. He was not that fast, you knew you could outrun him if you had to. He was not that fast, but neither were you. At that speed you weren't sure if you could go fast enough to reach him. Technically yes, but I could never be mean to Cove. I understand that. I did once fight with Cove because I wanted to see what happens. Because I think in the teenage years you can have a fight with him. When like you try to reach that one friend and it's not possible. And you can get mad at Cove. And you can tell Cove to leave. And he will just come back to the window and is like, let me back in. It's kind of funny, to be fair. Like, every time you actually get, I think it's the only situation where you get in a fight with him. And it's resolved very peacefully and nicely. Where did that go? Yeah. It's kind of funny. I kind of wanted to see what happens if you like pick the fight with Go, because like he does seem way too chill to fight, so yeah, even like the thing is you tell him to leave and he's like, are you sure? Yeah, like, yeah, leave. And he will turn back another time, it's like, I can come back. No, leave. It's kind of sweet, honestly. It's kind of like you're sending out a dog. You did it for Sky and Slot. Yeah, I had to see what happens. I need to check the vibe here. Also played a lot of runs through this game, and I like to find out all the different kind of things that can happen. Because your decisions kind of change what kind of things sometimes can happen in the storyline, or what will be said later about your Cove, and stuff like that. I discovered sometimes in later runs that I never knew that existed, so that's kind of sweet. I mean, the whole game is very wholesome. Played as different gender identities too. Yes, I did. I played like characters then. I tend to play non-binary characters though, but I also played male characters. I didn't play female characters, I think. Awesome, yeah. Because sometimes I played this like with OCs, just to like check out different routes that I maybe wouldn't do on my own. Like the first time I played, it was more what would I choose to do, and right now I'm kind of do that again, like kind of what would I do in this situation. But later on I kind of wanted to see different things. So let's see. I was pretty fast as a child, just not over a long time. I'm still somewhat fast. Now he was fast, but you knew you wouldn't outrun him if you had to. You could outrun him if you had to. I'm the same, going to try as binary trans or see next. Yeah, I think especially Our Life has this a very comforting game to explore gender identity. When I started the game, I was like, I'm agender. Back then, I didn't find my identity yet, and the game kind of lead me also to that, because I had to save every moment to get named by the right pronouns, to try out things, to see positive reactions, because I'm from a town, more countryside like, I guess. I was the only non-binary person I knew for a long time until I went to the city. So everything I know about at the time I knew about trans or non-binary. First things, non-binary wasn't really a thing growing up. Trans was a thing. I learned about it in school, but very briefly. It was more of a thing of, yeah, trans people exist. But the way I also learned about our sexualities. I learned what bisexuality means, what homosexuality means, a wrong definition of asexual, stuff like that. But it kind of was explained like people like that exists, but it never really was explained like you could be one of these people, and it kind of never stuck to me that you can just figure that stuff out. It kind of felt like you had to be diagnosed with it, you know? It was kind of when you are so young, you kind of don't know at what point am I this identity. Oh, ads. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, it's a 3-minute ad break. It's running. I'm gonna get more. I'm gonna get some cola and then we talk when the ads are over. The ads are also kind of strange. Sometimes it tells me the ads are running but they're not running, and sometimes they run if they don't. It tells me there are like 30 seconds left, so I kind of wait the 30 seconds and then more continue into talking and stuff. I will also upload our live streams on my YouTube. I kind of want to start to upload some things again on the YouTube. I was a bit lazy on that part. At least recently. So that should be over. I'll get also out of the ad breaks. Okay, I'm Sam, going to try as a binary trans. I'll see you next. I played as the child me, understood my gender identity as it now, understanding that the gender binary doesn't fit me well. Like, what if child me knew that, and now it's healing for me in that way. Okay, healing back into work. Still have a few hours to go. Yep, back well. Yeah, it's similar for me. I had a way to live as a child as that's a gender. That was very nice. Because I also like kinda was a start for me to discover my gender identity in the game. It's a very comforting game for me still. I also replayed the game when I was done with school, because I was afraid of the next stage of life, and this was kinda helping me to get over stuff. Let me see. Oh, that's good. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, because I recently saw that some people are rewatching more videos of mine. Before, it wasn't really a thing that a lot of people watched my videos, so I didn't really put the work into uploading stuff. But I want to start uploading stuff. I might just put the VOD video on there. That should be enough. So yeah. And especially I think Our Life needs the content. I love this game. I also have art made to Our Life. I might upload that again later. I back then was under a different username when I made the art though. Okay, Calf. You ran as fast as your legs would take you. Grass whipping around your ankles as you did so. And also another addition to reliving childhood in comfort. I'm autistic. I figured that out at the late age. Fully figured it out maybe at the age of 20. My first thought that I could have autism was with 16. I grew up with a lot of stereotypes about mental health, about autism, and the first thing I did when I was like, this could be that, I was like, no, and shoved it far away from me. And by now I'm very accepting of my autism, and I find strategies to help myself. It's just nice to play in the game where you have an autism-friendly environment to grow up to. And also, knowing what I now about the strategies I can do with my autism, because I have social phobia. I still have. Not as bad as I had back then. You ran as fast as your legs would take you, grass whipping around your ankles as you did so. Cautiously, Cove slowed to a halt and looked back at you. Where are you going? I don't know, somewhere else. I just don't want to see. Leave? You looked back and saw Shiloh huffing down the hill after you, the backpack he clutched bouncing all around along the way. What are you doing? Can I come? You must have seen you leaving out the window and followed behind. Hi! I hate the child. Oh hi, are you Cove? Yeah. What if they say no? I'm Shiloh. Okay. That's my reaction when that was my reaction in my teenage years when a friend of mine showed me her boyfriend. I'm a boyfriend. Okay. Yep. Are we going back or are we gonna play outside? Sheila's eyes moved between you and Cove. The smile remained strong on his face. He got a tiny frown from Cove in response. You were just grateful he hadn't asked why you had been running away. Inside, we left the box on the floor. Right, more shells and stuff. We have to make sure they're okay. Okay. With Shiloh trailing behind, you and Cove headed back towards the house. Plan for the afternoon, at least, as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach thing some more. You weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else, especially if Cove was having fun. Hey, check out this scallop shell I found. Cool, right? It's a pretty color, kinda like my cast. Beautiful glittering pink that look a little bit like the wrap around his arm. Think that's a nice color. Okay. Cool. I think his reaction was very funny.
Oh?
Is it your favorite? Not really. What is it? Maybe green or blue, it might be yellow. Oh, these are all cool. I guess. I like these colors too. They are better colors, not sure how to deal with the suddenly more awkward silence. You look back at your shells. I like these colors too, my favorite color is blue. Awesome. Both of them smiled. Like usual, it didn't take long for Shiloh to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favorite. Without her around, Shiloh didn't seem to know what to do with herself. And Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't that much like you either. Is Lizzie coming back? Don't know.
Ah.
Oh. Where would she go? I think she's at the beach, probably. Is she playing at the park? Cove's eyes lit up at the mention of the park, and he looked towards you. There's a park? Yep, but it's old. Can you show me? I wanna go. He started getting up before you had even answered, and Sheila jumped up beside him in excitement. Really? You do, too? Rightly? The park is fun. I love it. The park's pretty great. No. No. The park is pretty great. Yeah, it's right at the beach, so there's lots of fun stuff to do. Lots of sand. It has a jungle gym and a bunch of swings. It sounds like it could be cool. So, are we going to find Lizzie? I don't know. I never really wanted to see her. I just want to check the park out. We're on the same page, Cove. I hate that little shit too. Yeet the child. Yeet him! Adrift without any direction, Sheila finally turned to you. Okay. You picked up. Both boys wanted to go. It's only fair. After getting permission from your mom, 3 of you were ready to head out. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced your mom that it was so short she could always be allowed to walk there by herself. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hi, Lizzie. Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Leap, Sheila. Hi. She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. In a split second, she lured abandoned you two and scrambled over to stand by her. You were used to being left out when it was just the 3 of you, but now Cove was here. You wondered if he would leave too. Who's that? It's Cove. He's new.
Hi.
I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park. Nobody ever comes to play here, so this is where we get together. She gestures wildly with her arms as if to present her area to the newcomer. While Lizzie continued talking, you took the chance to kick off your shoes and wiggle your toes through the warm sand. Nice, huh? In this neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with ideas. You are? Yeah, I am. Who else could handle the job? Lizzie's the oldest. By a lot. My mom said you're Leaf's age. Yeah? Thought so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits. What about other kids? Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here. Sheila is just visiting from another place. Not even tourists really bring the kids here. This is the land of ancients. Old people. Be careful that the oldies don't try to steal your youth. Oh. For a second it looked like he might cry again. I love this game. But something in his eyes shifted and he looked back at Lizzie. What kind of old people, like moms and dads or grandparents? Grandparents who don't have kids. They hate kids. Why? We haven't done anything. Only some of them don't like kids. Stop saying stuff like that, they're gonna upset them. Yeah, they're really bad. Yeah, they're really bad. You went along with her, wiggling your fingers menacingly at Cove. He sniffled, his forehead creasing with worry. Oh no! Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't seem to care that she was there. He went into his own head. Sheila was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation. I met Lizzie and Leaf in school. You see tons of kids there once summer's over. I don't want to go to the new school. I don't want summer to end. Sheila looked down to the dirt. He hasn't had much luck striking up conversation with Cove. I like summer vacation a lot too. But Sheila, why I hate Sheila? He's a piece of shit. He has no personality. His whole thing is just telling that he likes whatever you tell him that. You tell him something and he's, I love that. And he's also a liar, like notorious liar. It gets worse when he gets older. Makes more sense later, trust me. All the building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Sheila's discomfort at how weird she thought Cove was, it's something else entirely you didn't really know, but she laughed, face scrunching up. Welcome to Sunset, Bird Cove. Take a seat, put up your feet, and get used to it. He offered him a small smile, and that, at least, looked to reassure him some. For the rest of summer, Cove was always there. He saw her more often than Sheila, and on some days when she was in a bad mood or busy, he even saw him more than Lizzie. He became a staple of your everyday life, the way sun and lunch at the beach were. During your first summer together, you really liked Cove. He was a fun person to play with, and he seemed to like playing with you too. Of course, that was only the start of things. Now we have like different slice of life kind of moments that we can play, but we don't have to. But first I want to save, just in case, because sometimes it doesn't have open, but the game can crash technically. I mean, every game can crash technically. And we can play through all the game. Different. What time do we have now? How many? Oh, it's later than I thought. I underestimate how long these kind of stuff can take. We can end the summer any moment we want and go to the next step. Let's see. We just started at the beginning, I guess. Shopping. Come back before it gets dark, alright, Sport? The familiar voice drifted across the street and drew your attention away from the snail you've been watching inch slowly across the pavement. Cove waited in front of his dad, pushing his green hair back off his face from where the breeze was blowing it over his glasses. He looked to be paying only a mild amount of attention as he was being handed a few slips of green paper. It reminded you of when you first met Mr. Holden, although he's probably not paying Cove to be his friends with himself. Cove's dad seemed to feel your gaze somehow, or maybe you made a noise because a second later his eyes were on you. He waved you over with a smile. He looked happy to see you, but you still felt a little weird for getting caught. You've got to learn how to be more sneaky. You brushed your hands together to free them of sand, then jogged over to join the two, smiling at Cove first and then his dad. Leaf, hi!
How's it going?
Good to see you again. What excitement are you up today, Leaf? Taking a walk? I found a pretty cool snail across the road. There's a lot of snails around here. Mr. Holden grinned at you kindly. After he finished answering the question, Mr. Holden's attention returned to Cove, who was preoccupied with folding the bills he had into a tiny rectangle. Sounds fun, you know. Cove was about to hit the stores by the beach. Why don't you go with him? He gave a ready nod, turning to squint in the direction of the stores. Like, you see the goods they had to offer all the way from where you stood. Oh, is that okay?
Yeah.
I don't mind. Great, I'm sure you guys will have lots of fun. Mr. Holden reached into his pocket and pulled out a leather wallet filled with money. You found it odd since your moms only ever seemed to have cards in there. So okay, I thought Priscilla would say they were empty and I don't know. Yes, hand me the money. Here. He leaned in to pass a crisp plan to Cove, giving him a wink and a whisper. Get something for your friend too. Sure.
Good kid.
It's my boy. Cove stared rough at his son's hair as he was straightening back up the bill in his hand, still held out towards the green-haired boy. Take care. Cove accepted the bill after a second and slipped it into his pocket. Then, with one last nod to his dad, he turned and started walking. He followed after him, intrigued at the possibilities this outing might bring. Cove strayed toward the gentle tides creeping up the sand, and you fell into place beside him. It was a nice day, the sun was shining, and there weren't many clouds in the sky, though the wind coming off the ocean kept it from being too hot. Took in a deep breath, enjoying the scent of salt and ocean air. When you looked at Cove, he was dragging his feet to the sand a little, and you slowed down to wait for him. His eyes searched the ground intently. Are you looking for snails? Are you looking for shells? What is it? You didn't feel to ask him. Are you looking for snails? Cove looked over at you, wrinkling his nose. Who would want something like that? You felt the urge to defend the activity you've been indulging in only a short while ago. A lot of people? No way, they're weird. And you can take them anywhere, cause they're bugs. You have to leave them alone. They're not bugs. That's a different definition. Bugs are insects. Cove chuckled to himself, and that ended the discussion. He can think what he wants, and you think your own things. Now I would discuss it out. The comforting sound of the waves filled the silence with pleasant white noise, and you played a little game with yourself as you walked along, getting as close to the water as possible without getting wet. It resulted in you having to run up the sand quickly when a wave rushed in, more than a few times, and out the Cove threw a few glances your way. He didn't say a word. Didn't either. What did you want to go to the shops for? What do you usually do on the beach? What do you usually do on the beach? Lots of things. I like bodyboarding and volleyball and surfing and everything and stuff. The idea of standing on a big board while the waves paddled probably towards shore was mystifying. I'm not allowed to surf, it looks hard. Not once you get the hang of it, it could show you sometime. But I'm also not supposed to surf right now cause I have this. He lifted up one arm, showing off the glaring pink cars wrapped around his wrist. Yeah. It's sad for him. Cove still smiled though. You thought his nonchalant attitude towards the injury was pretty brave. I also like collecting stuff that's on the shore. Shells, sand dollars. I found a shark tooth once. You did? Cove stretched out his forefinger and thumb. It was this long. It was somehow both scary and delightful. No way. I mean it, I still have it under my bed. You would have to remember to ask him to show it to you sometime. What about you? What do you do out here? I like looking at fish. We can look at fish. I don't come to the beach a lot. I like building sandcastles, nothing. I like looking at fish. They don't like me, so they always swim away if I get close, but they're pretty before that. Cool, starfish are fun. They aren't going anywhere even if you touch them. They're not really fish though. That definition is not right. I don't care. Why is the English language naming them starfish? They ain't fish. And now it's like because in times before when I was born, so at a time I don't care about, people were like everything in the water is a fish. There we go. In the German language, it's Seestern, which means sea star. Or ocean star. Depends a bit of... Yeah, sea star is more the literal translation of that. And I'm unhappy that the sea star is called starfish. I'm not gonna call it a starfish. I refuse. I'm a biology student, by the way. They aren't going anywhere even if you touch them. That's not entirely true. They can move. A small laugh escaped you. That's true. No, it's not. Nothing of the things you said are true. Once you reached the shopping area, the noise level grew exponentially. No longer just waves and footsteps, but the chatter of people enjoying the lovely summer day, the call of birds trying to find bits of food left behind, and lots of salespeople trying to get attention. You sniffed the air as you walked beside Cove. You could still smell the ocean, but There were other skins now too. Pizza, pretzels. I don't like that pretzels is pretzels in the English language, because the German word is Brezel, which is very close, but the only difference pretty much is that they put a P instead of a B, and that bothers me. Pizza, pretzels, hot donuts. And why is donuts written that way? I don't like that either. I have issues with the English language. Why not write a donut? It was not. Oh, what was the question? You sniffed the air as you walked beside Cove. You could still smell the ocean, but there were other skins now too. Pizza, pretzels, hot donuts. It was nice. It was not very nice. It was alright. It was nice. The energy surrounding the area seemed to fill you, and there was a bounce in your step as you began looking at all the familiar sights. There were so many things to do you didn't know where to begin. You looked at Cove, hoping he was just as excited as you were. Cove was glancing from one side of the street to the other with a look in his aquamarine eyes that couldn't quite work out. What's that? Cove pointed to a large crowd of people gathered near a few tables with large, colorful umbrellas blooming from the middles. You couldn't see past the adults who were blocking the way, but you knew there must be something worth seeing. Without another word, the two of you hurried over to see what all the commotion was about. Feast your eyes on the amazing Alexander. In the center of the crowd was a man with a tall head and a funny green coat that had 3 long tails. There was a little table next to him with a cloth hanging over it that read "The Amazing Alexander" in glittery golden script. Why tell people his name if it's already on his sign? Cove hummed with understanding, then turned to walk away just as the amazing Alexander began shuffling a deck of cards. Maybe we could stay and watch. Cave glanced back at the man. He then briefly lifted his arms up to his sides before returning them to place. You grinned, waving for him to follow you as you raced back to stand in the crowd. With that, it began. The magic man pulled one card out of the deck, showing it to the curious onlookers. It was a 4 of diamonds. Watch closely. You did, squeezing through a few of the adult onlookers to get a better view. Suddenly the man snapped his fingers and the card just disappeared. War. Amazing Alexander, who had earned his title, turned his head and looked directly at you. He reached out with a kind smile. What's this behind your ear? Nothing. Tell me. He backed away. Nothing? It was true. You didn't keep anything there. Yeah, I usually don't. He smelled like popcorn and candy when he stepped closer, and you wrinkled your nose in confusion as you watched him. I felt a tug, and then he pulled the 4 of diamonds out from behind your ear. Well, you knew that it couldn't really have come from your ear, but you still didn't get how he'd done it. There was light applause from the crowd, and then the man gave a deep bow. This is for you. The magician plucked a pair of balloons from a clump of them tied down to his table. Both were in the shape of a dolphin instead of being a normal circle. That's amazing. I want one. And one for your friend too. Thank you for being my assistant. Wow. Now you were really grateful he chose you. After that, he went to someone else in the crowd. Pick a card, any card. My uncle does that every time he visits. Not the balloons, the stuff with the cards. Cove spoke plainly while reaching over to take the dolphin that had been designated for him. Maybe it wasn't so special. Cove is just ruining the fun. At least you had a fun time. You wondered if Cove's whole family was magic. That's such a cute answer. You wondered if Cove's whole family was magic. If so, he was lucky. The crowd started to clear some, and you noticed to the side there was a whole rack of brightly colored kaleidoscopes on display. You picked up a kaleidoscope, you picked up a Rubik's Cube, you picked up a magic 8-ball, you were past it twice. You picked up a magic 8-ball. I never had one in my hands and I need to do it now. Oh, these are cool. Shifted your balloon string to the other hand so you could hold it up in front of you. Then you thought of a question in your mind, shaking the board, hearing some kind of liquid slosh around inside. Once you had given it a good shake, you held it upright, waiting for the answer to appear. Concentrate and ask again. You wrinkled up your nose and set the magic 8-ball back on the rack. It wasn't the answer you were hoping for. Get another ball then. Try again. You followed Cove around to the other side of the stall. He went under the awning careful of his own floating dolphin and you joined him. Did you have places like this in your old town? Are you having fun? I don't really like to hear. Say nothing. Did you have places like this in your old town? Cove blinked at you for a moment and you wondered if you shouldn't have asked. You knew how much you missed the place. Not really. You nodded in understanding, looking over at the stalls nearby. While Cove looked at sand piles, you were drawn to a table with colorful keychains laid out on it. They were sewn in the shape of sea creatures, and there was a plaque that read, "Handmade," standing proudly in front. There were a lot of different types. You saw a dolphin, a shark, a crab, a turtle. I want a shark! Your hand stopped on the shark, a devious smirk filled with the sharp teeth on his face. We weren't supposed to go near sharks in real life, but there was something about a shark you liked, and the fabric on the back was soft when you picked it up. You were instantly an animal. Checking the price, though, your heart fell. $6. You didn't know how much about money, but you thought it was a lot to spend on one thing. You rarely had more than a $5 bill to your name. I relate to that. Though that changed the day you met Cove, and instead, you still had the $20 bill Mr. Holden gave to you hidden away in your room. It was a grand sum of money, but you couldn't spend something that was at home instead of in your pocket money. In your pocket. Maybe you had asked your mom to bring you here again one day. Know that you knew what you wanted. Is that what you want? Huh? Oh, it's $6. It didn't bring any money. It's fine. How is the price important if you don't have any money to begin with? Like, would you still have able to buy it if it was $2? No, because you don't have money. Yes, I know the children, but still, it's the principle. It's fine. Really, really? Are you sure? Hooray! You don't have to. I don't want you to get it from me. Hooray! Cove took the keychain from your hands, and that was that. He was holding a small yellow bucket for himself too. I was always gonna get you something. I already got the money for it. He smiled, pleased to have things work out. It was nice of Cove's dad to let Cove buy something for you too. You had to remember to thank him next time you saw him. After Cove paid, the two of you stepped out of the store side by side, your balloon dolphin knocking together and spiraling out in the air. You watched Cove hold up his new pail to his face, examining it thoroughly. Hey Cove. Yeah? Your dad gives out money a lot, huh? I really like this keychain, never mind. I really like the keychain. Thank you. It's nice. Cove looked further down the street where the different food carts were lined up. He rested his non-cast arm over his stomach, and just as he did, you let out a light groan. You hadn't eaten since breakfast, and after all this wandering around, you weren't definitely ready for some lunch. Let's get some food. Yeah, you two wandered around a short while, looking at all the delicacies that were available. I'm gonna drink something. Everything looked delicious, and as if different smells, both sweet and salty, wafted over to you. Your stomach growled even louder. After passing up hot dogs, snow cones, ice cream, and pizza, you both agreed on pretzels. Cove got something sweet and cinnamony, and you? I never saw a sweet pretzel. And I'm German. That looks like a crime to me. Why are there sweet pretzels? Are those actual pretzels? Or are those like the small, more chip snack-like pretzels? But it's a big pretzel. Crime. I want one with cheese. Lick your lips hungrily as the vendor handed you pretzel over, ready to take a big bite. It was covered in gooey melted cheese, just the way you liked it. Why is it gooey? I want like the cheese that's already like melted and goes harder, you know? I don't want it to be gooey. It seemed odd to get a desert pretzel before eating normal food. Why is it a desert pretzel? What's a desert pretzel? As a German, that's a crime. Is this even an actual pretzel? Like, is it the right thing? Or is it just what Americans think a pretzel is? I refuse acknowledging this as a pretzel. I found an empty table close enough to the beach that the grit of the sand made terrible noises when you dragged the chairs out to sit down. These balloons are gonna make it hard to eat. Cove placed his bucket on the table as he stared at his still balled up hand that was wrapped around the string. You opened your mouth to agree before an idea hit you. I know. After carefully placing your pretzel somewhere it wouldn't get sandy, you tucked the balloon dolphin out of Cove's hand and tied a delicate bow around his wrist. Oh. Cove bounced his arm up and down in place, testing the stability of your knot. After watching this balloon jostle around but remain attached, he sighed satisfied. Can you do it for me? He repeated the ritual. Cove struggled somewhat with the cast, restricting his fingers on one hand and the string already tangled around the other. Okay. Got it. The two of you spent a moment admiring your handiwork, both hands now free to allow easy munching on your pretzels. You bit into the duffy treat, serving the taste on your tongue with a smile as you looked over to the ocean. I don't think that it's an actual pretzel. It's a lie. It's a lie. What did they do to my pretzels? After the time you finished your pretzel, you were done before Cove. It was boring not having anything to do. You pulled on the string of your balloon to bring it down to your level. Then you held the dolphin in your hands, manipulating it to make it look like it was jumping through the air. If you turned to face towards the beach, it almost looked like it was swimming in the wave like a real dolphin. A laugh came from your side. Like, you pulled on the string, and then we all had. When you glanced back at Cove, he had left the remaining part of his pretzel on the wrapper, and he was gripping his dolphin too. Mine's name is Merryweather. He's a prince of dolphins. Mine's name is Splash. They star in movies. Mine's name is Cherry. She's actually an alien. Mine's name is Sam. Just a regular dolphin. They're just a regular dolphin. Sighed, thinking about how great it would be to be a to have a pet dolphin of your own. What's yours? Cove considered this question, placing the balloon against the table and resting his free arm across it in contemplation. It's... With a loud pop, the dolphin exploded into ribbons. Oh no! No! For a second, all Cove did was gape in shock like you. Then his cheeks puffed up, squinting his eyes as you saw tears start to glisten.
Leave.
Leave it. You made a joke, you offered to find Alexander, you offered to give Cove your balloon. You didn't say anything, he would be alright. You offered to give Cove your balloon. You looked at Cove, then up to your balloon, bobbing gently in the air above you. You can have mine. It was better than letting him cry more. Cove sniffled, glancing up at the balloon, then back at you. No, it's yours. I don't want to take it from you. It's okay, really. Cove shook his head. Even though it wasn't your fault, you felt bad. Still, the offer seemed to lift Cove's spirit, and that was good. The passing of Cove's balloon was the last major event of your adventure. In the end, the two of you headed back late that afternoon. Separated on the beach, and while Cove went straight home with his brand new sand pail in hand, you decided to sit for a while. You watched the waves and the sunset, fiddling with your new keychain. Another summer day was drawing to a close. It had been a good one, except for the sad final note. Okay. What time do we have? Oh, it was pretty quick. We can do more modes. Let me save and make a quick toilet break. Save. We make a quick break. Please wait a moment, thingy. I'm back in a sec. Okay, I'm already back. The ads are still running. But we can go slowly back into the stuff. Placed it differently. Good. Good. Another one. Just pick the next one. Grown up. One sweltering summer day, you were in your living room with Cove, listening to the sound of the birds chattering outside the window, while you lay across the rug on the floor. Cove's dead. You dropped him off earlier, and your mom had left the two of you along with Lily to play amongst yourselves. It had been too hot to go outside in the afternoon, at least according to Mommy, so your sister was starting to get impatient, waiting for her golf class that evening. Hydrate. Yes, where's my cola? And hello, schmoozer. Posture check. My posture is actually quite good right now, because I'm straight back. Thank you for the hydrate and the posture check. A head pad. I do have a head pad redeemed too. And you also can do a head pad command as long as it still works. Head pad. Schmoozer. Let me type. There we go. It works. You're German too. Did you ever hear of sweet pretzels? It feels like a crime. Okay, back to this. Everything's still working the way I want it? Yes, it does. Okay. The three of you had trouble finding something fun to do. The beach and the playground were off limits, and you felt that it was too warm for anything like playing with your fuzzy toy animals. And suddenly a light came to Lizzie's big brown eyes, and her smile spread wide across her face. Having an idea gave her a new wave of energy. Since we're stuck inside, we should be adults. They don't play outdoors anyways. They're always inside and telling everybody they're too busy to play.
Why?
Why?
Duh.
I said why? And it will be fun. Duh. What do they do inside that we don't, besides use the phone a lot? Excluding a small half, Lizzie decides to ignore Cove.
What do you think?
Leave, what do you think? Do you want to? Cove said it. That doesn't sound fun. I bet we could come up with something else. I don't know. I want to. I bet we could come up with something else. But that's what I'm going to do, and it's not fun when I play pretend adults by myself. Do you do that a lot? Haha, he's sassy. What's it to you? Looking at Lizzie, it seemed Cove felt he could understand where she was coming from, and he said, "Do you really not want to play, Leif?" It was clear he wanted some way out, but still felt guilty about it. poor Cove. I'll try it, but it sounds boring. Okay, I stay. Sorry, I have other stuff to do. You kept hesitating. Oops. I clicked jump. Oh no, I clicked back. No. Oh, things. Okay, I stay. I hope this is as fun as you're promising it will be. Lizzie looked at you, deathly serious. It's the most exciting idea I've had all week. Satisfied with that neither of you were about to bail on her, Lizzie thought over her options while you watched. After a few seconds, she clapped her hands together and beamed, apparently having settled on something without asking either of you. Okay, I'm gonna be a professional golfer. Leave, you and Cove can be a beach volleyball player, a gymnast, or a tennis player. I'm bad in all of these things, by the way. Which is crazy because I'm somewhat good in sports, but not these. Posture check. Rude. Stop letting me do posture checks. Bullying. I'm sitting straight. Why can't we pick anything we want? Because I have a fun idea, that's why. And we have to play sports as adults. Yep. But there are other kinds of sports too. It isn't the same. What do you think, Lee? Don't do this choice eclectics? Don't these choices sound super cool? You wanna be that, huh? I kind of like those. It really doesn't. Haha, it sounds like a blast. Isn't there anything else we can be? You know what? Maybe not. Isn't there anything else we can be? Lizzie stomped the food on the ground. Nope, come on, just decide already. Knowing Lizzie wouldn't let us go anytime soon, you sighed. I fought a lot with my actual sister. Usually we're only fighting. Out of all of them, you prefer to play beach volleyball? I once shot the volleyball at my own teammate. Pretty hard too. Gymnastics? The most I can do is... I don't know the English word, forward roll. That's it. I'm not good at gymnastics. Tennis, never played. Oops, now I clicked something. Let's shoot at people of my own team, that's fun. If you couldn't spend the afternoon at the beach for real, then you might as well pretend you were there. You could even wear your swimsuit to make it more realistic, although Lizzie probably wouldn't let you run off and do that now that she had you here. Yes, that was... Yes, that was clearly the top option. Okay, I'm gonna be a volleyball player. How about you, Cove? I have a volleyball team too. Lizzie threw her hands in the air, making an annoyed sound. You guys can't be the same thing, it's not how it works. You didn't say that. The rule was picking from the list, you can't keep adding more. Lizzie looked at the two of you, then shook her head, resigned to losing this battle, but not the war. She's a strategist. Played everybody's golf, so I'm confident to say I'm experienced in sports. I'm somewhat good at a lot of sports, but usually nothing that needs much, not sports that include balls usually. Only handball, I'm good at this. Soccer, have a very bad, coordination there, but like it's still better than most somewhat, I guess. I did... I'm not sure what the English word is. Something like athletics? Like running, jumping, throwing a ball. But I was better throwing a ball, I have to say. But I can jump very far. And I run fast and for a long time. Kind of stuff like that. That's what I did for like 10 years as a child and stuff. And I did a bit of kickboxing because it's fun to kick and box things. Should do more sports. This is ponytail bob when she proudly stretched her arms wide. The Olympic team? What? We are Olympic athletes. We just competed in the Olympics. Cove didn't seem all that impressed with the announcement. He made a face and adjusted the glasses on his nose. That's really specific. That's what makes it fun, anyway. I'm good at mini-golf, though. And I immediately got bullied for my height. At that point. Because I played with my father and I'm very good at mini-golf. And he was like, yeah, that's because you're short. Mini-golf is fun. I should play more mini-golf too. Lizzie marched back and forth in front of the both of you, getting lost in her own imagination. I won all gold medals and people are calling me the next Mickey White. I don't know who that is. He was dead. Thank you, Cove. Lizzie stopped on the spot and turned on him, her brown eyes shining with impatience. It doesn't matter if you know who she is. It's a golf thing. You guys won medals too? Your team placed at silver. It's more real if we're not all first place. How is hate and mini golf related? Not really, it's more a joke that it's like golf and mini golf. So it's like short. It's the mini in the name usually. It's a smaller sized golf kind of, and it's kind of it, and the joke is that I'm small. It doesn't need to make sense. Oh, I once played hockey and tall people fell over my hockey thingy. It was fun. I'm good at hockey because I'm close to the floor and you kind of have to hold the thingy. It was fun. No, silver sucks. I don't want silver. I'm okay with that. Hey, we can do better than silver. Silver's not bad. Nice. You stayed silent. Silver sucks. I don't want silver. I so would fight about it. Silver sucks. I don't want silver. Folded your arms across your chest, staring Lily down. Me neither. You nodded a Cove, happy that you had your back. Lots of people lose at the Olympic. Them's the breaks. Then you're the one who did, not me. Yes. Lizzie looked taken aback by Cove's declaration, as though the thought of her losing was completely absurd. No way, it wouldn't make sense. I'm already practicing my golf game. She took a golfing stance to make a point, pretending to swing her cup and hit it an invisible ball. So what kind of house do you want to live in? Cove hadn't changed his mind about winning, but thinking about where he'd live as an adult appealed to him. Apparently because he looked back at Lizzie with some of the anger fading. I'm going to live on the beach. Lizzie made a face at him, poking out her tongue. That's kind of boring. We already live it. We already have that. No, not like the normal house here with a street on it, right on the sand, by the water. Just like that, all the tension was back. You hadn't even had a chance to choose where you would want to live. That's not very fun or smart, Cove. You can't live on a bunch of sand and shells. but I want to, and I will. Cove narrowed his eyes at Lizzie, even though she stood half a head taller than him. You didn't give out a list of things to pick from this time, so I'm picking that. But it makes me wonder what sports favor shorter people. Good question. Jockeys. Jockeys have to be light. Like, that's the first thing I have to think of. Because I know a guy who does that, actually. If you lighter, that's better. I think it's also better for gymnastics because of the weight center of your body, because it's more close to the floor, I think. And that's somehow better. But otherwise I wouldn't know that many sports where being short is an actual advantage. Maybe stuff with... Nah. I'm not sure. Not that many, I think. At least not in my experience. Usually more directions where you have to be light, that's usually where being short comes well with. You didn't give out the... yeah. Geez, well, I'm gonna live in a mansion far away from here and far away from you. One with an indoor pool and a place to practice my award-winning golfing. How come you were yelling about mine when your idea is even more impossible? Lizzie's face flushed red, her hands balling into fists at her sides. It's not impossible and it's better than yours. Disagreements always seemed to crop up when the two of them were together, and you always felt like we're stuck in the middle. But when it came to the topic at hand, this time you thought... You'd prefer a mansion, being on the beach was cooler. You wanted to agree with Lily, Cove was right, you were tired of deciding between either of them. I don't necessarily think that Cove is right, I just wouldn't agree with my sister, it's a principle. My sister had a huge Twilight phase, so I had a huge hating Twilight phase. That's how things work. Yeah, Cove was right. Simply because I think she was wrong. Cove's idea is good. You shouldn't say yours is the only right one. No one asked for your opinion. Why no one asked for yours? He smiled slightly over the agreement and turned to Lizzie with bolstered confidence. You can swim whenever you want if you live on the beach. We can still swim anytime we want from where we live now. Being a little closer doesn't mean anything, says you. The two of them scold at each other. You're being so unreasonable. I don't get what you want. This game doesn't make sense. It does. You have to be realistic. I said that. But you're not. You had no idea what to do to make them stop at this point. It seemed like the two of them would just keep working each other's up as long as they could. Shaking on the stove, everything doing. Nothing you'd say so far had kept them from being mad. Thankfully, like a greeting card angel, Mom walked into the room. Lizzie rushed to her, hanging onto the hem of her shirt and poking out her tongue at Cove. Lizzie, leave, it's time to get ready to go. So you have to leave already, Cove. Their mommy said she will walk you home, so you won't get in the cold. Based on quick search, gymnastics, skiing, snowboarding, soccer. Soccer? I'm not sure about soccer. I'm not sure what advantage it would give you. It's not good if you want to stand in the... I don't know the word. If you like have to catch the ball and stop it from making a goal. Then being short sucks. Because I can't reach well up there. So if somebody shoots higher than I told, it sucks. I know that this is unpractical. It might be practical on the field, but I don't know if it's that big. Gymnastics, that's what I said. Apparently many soccer players are shorter. Yeah, soccer is like a huge thing in Germany, like it's the biggest sport we have. And it doesn't seem like a big thing with the height difference, honestly. I feel like it doesn't make much difference how tall you are in soccer. It's just not important how tall you are, I think, in soccer. Like, you don't really have advantage or disadvantage, at least from them, what I know. Because I played basketball and I fucking hated it to be short in basketball. And in soccer it doesn't really matter how tall you are. So it's really not a thing where you notice the height difference much. Maybe more in that sense. But it's unimportant. Skiing and snowboarding. Yeah, skiing is the thing with the gravity center. Because it's closer to the floor, so it's kind of easier to balance. In gymnastic, it's for one just easier if you're lighter and also gravity center. Cope was still glaring at Lizzie. His face flushed red with anger. I can go by myself, but... Bye, Lib. There was still a harsh edge to the brief farewell, but you knew it wasn't you he was mad at. Without giving Mom a chance to stop, Cove stood up and stalked out of the room, shoulders drawn tight. Okay. Worried Mom turned to look down at you and Lizzie. You were playing nice with our new friend, weren't you? Hey, the truth, you lie. I'm not a snitch, you lie. It's so fun to play with Cove and Lizzie. I was a snitch as a child. I always snitched on my sister, though. I have to admit that. But she was mean to me. We're sure that you didn't. To be fair, I was smaller than my sister. She just picked me up and put me upside down. Or she just held me on her side, like she could just pick me up very easily. It was mean. She still can pick me up, but not that easily anymore. Many sports favor taller stature, so I guess if the height is unimportant for a sport, it is already nice. Yeah, that's true. I think. I have to say, I don't really notice big disadvantages in the most sports I did. You really notice it in basketball. Especially if you play with people who play more basketball. And you end up with like the 2-meter tall guys and it's like... Yeah, well... then it's not nice. There's many sports where height isn't that important. Whereas like, if you're a profi sportler, like a very professional sport person, a professional athlete, height does matter. Like, for example, I'm very good at jumping far, but I would be better if I was taller. But I'm still pretty good. I still was like Like, I'm assigned female at birth, though I was with the girls in the sport class. I jumped the furthest, usually. Even further than the girls. Other girls. Skateboarding. I did skateboarding. I'm not good at it. Because that's more a me thing and not a hate thing. Because I have but if I have to move my feet for something to do something with it, it will not work well. That's also why I'm not good at soccer. I'm not good at like aiming with my feet, like coordination, I guess. You did? How many sports did you try? A few. I have a skateboard at home. I did many sport things, at least as try, and we had a lot of sports in school. I never really actively tried learning skateboarding. I had a skateboard, I drove back and forth, and then was pissed because I couldn't really do much. I was like, I want to jump with the thing, and it just did. Like, I can jump, can't jump, or anything cool. And last time I was standing on a skateboard, that was a year ago or so, I fell very badly and had back pain for a while then, because I fell flat on my back. Yeah. I tried many sports. We also have like a university sport, and you can just go for free to sports. I want to go sword fighting. That's far up on my list. Like, we had a lot of different sports in school. It's kind of normal in the curriculum in Germany. I'm good at chess. The closest sport to me is chess, and I'm terrible at it, even that. I'm kind of good at that. Not like any really, really good, but like, I am pretty good, I would say. I don't know any strategies, but I can win against people. I once made a guy crazy because I played without strategy and he was like overthinking everything. And he tried to beat me in the game with strategies he like learned beforehand, but it didn't work because I did just anything I wanted and felt smart. That's how he lost. And I learned to play chess in kindergarten. Okay. Reassured that you didn't read about. I worked at an elementary school for a year as like volunteer work kind of stuff. And I also teach the kids chess there. Some of them were very good at the end of the year because they regularly like play chess every day. And then they really get good at it. It was interesting to see, honestly. My father showed me how to play chess. He never let me win, by the way. I think I never won against my father, I'm trying to say. But I didn't play with him since my childhood. But as a child, he never let me win. I'm quite a sporty person actually because I made like general athletics, I guess I would say it is. I'm not sure about the English word. So running, jumping, and throwing a ball. If you do that 2 times a week, and also not just running short stuff, but like really long rounds, you build up some kind of stamina with that. That makes it very easy to do other sports. I did that for 10 years, and I don't struggle much with stamina. Note to self, do not challenge self to any sport, chess, or breakthrough. Yeah. I still want to see what happens when I actually start taking testosterone, because that would be interesting to see. Because usually at most sports I can't really win against men. At least, like, unsporty men, I might have a good chance. Sporty man, not. No chance. But it's also because I'm not training anything. Back to the story. Be sure that you didn't rat her out, Lizzie flashed you a smile. That's right, be good hosts in this house. That's what I like to hear. We have to make sure he comes over again. Lizzie's smiles immediately faded. Ah, right, we better get a move on.
Let's go.
Let's go, kids. Yo, Lenny, where did you leave the car keys? Mom hustled you all out the door, and you noticed during the car ride golf practice that Lizzie was quieter than usual. She was usually the first one to request which music to listen to in the car, but she didn't say a thing. Your parents noticed she wasn't in the mood to be bothered. They gave her space, and Mommy just asked you what you like to listen to. You picked your favorite song. It must always made the car ride more fun. You choose a soundtrack to a cool movie you saw a couple months ago. You choose a song you knew Lizzie liked. Maybe that would cheer up. I never got to choose music in the car. On the way to kindergarten, my mother listened to Linkin Park and Billy Talent. And that was the music that ran there most of my childhood in the car. She had like 2 CDs of, I think, one of Linkin Park in the car, and usually just switched between these. And later on, I think at the time stand up Spotify, my parents still choose the music. My parents listen to punk music a lot, and like rock. I listen to K-pop and pop. But I do a lot of German punk music because of that. My parents would never let me pick K-pop in the car. They would hate that. They're judging so hard about my music taste. You picked your favorite song and also made the car ride more fun. Eventually, Lizzie came around and started singing along with you. Also, all of me and my siblings all have different music taste, and we don't like each other's music taste. My brother goes into the direction of rock and punk music. My sister, I think, only listens to Ariana Grande. I don't know if she listens to any other music, to be fair. Maybe some pop music, but she's not really big into music. I listen to K-pop, it's a pop, and other categories where I don't know in what categories these fit. A lot of like stereotypical queer music, I would say. Eventually, Lizzie came around and started singing along with you. You both knew all the words, and your moms even sang along too. That would never happen in my family. When the car ride was over, you spent a twilight hour watching Lizzie hit things with other girls her age. You didn't know much about golf, but you could tell that she really liked it. So you sat with your moms and tried to puzzle it out. It was nice sitting outside after being cooped up in the house all day, and you stretched out your legs to let the last few minutes of sun warm your skin. When the sun was finally out of sight, dipping behind the horizon, you all got ready to leave. Instead of going straight home, your mom took the family out to dinner. You went to a restaurant you had all been going ever since you could remember. Oh, another spot I recently did is bouldering, a very queer stereotype too. Bouldering is fun. And climbing, being shorter can be practical because being shorter means being lighter, and it's easier to get yourself up somewhere. But it's harder to reach spots that are further up. It has its ups and downs. Instead of going straight home, your mom took the family out to dinner. You went to a restaurant you all had been going to ever since you could remember. The whole afternoon had been a bunch of shouting you hadn't been able to stop, but you could kind of tell that all this helped Lizzie be less angry. With Lizzie in a better mood, the car ride home was much more pleasant. The two of you took turns picking the radio stations, while your moms spoke quietly to one another about stuff. Soon enough, Mom was turning onto your street, then reversing into the driveway. Once you cut in the indication, the four of you go out of the car and went into the house. I went to the washroom while Mom left to go change. You and Lizzie stayed downstairs in the living room. You go out to head to your room when she stopped you, motioning you closer. Instead, puzzled, you listened to her. She craned her neck around as if expecting someone to pop out of nowhere to scare her, then turned back to you. Lizzie crossed her arms, peering intensely at you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Liv. I couldn't say it before. If you said Cove got all mad, Mom would have gotten mad too. You thought back to earlier that day, the argument Lizzie and Cove had, and how Mom never found out about it. Yeah, Mom didn't need to know. You're welcome, we have to help each other. I want something back for that. You're welcome, you should still try to break up with Cove. Okay, but I'll tell you if you don't say sorry to Cove later. I'll keep it a secret if you apologize to Cove and give me something. Threatening people. Yeah, you apologize to Cove. I don't fucking care about everything else. Okay, but I'll tell on you if you don't say sorry to Cove later. Lizzie's expression soared instantly at your words. What? Why? It was his fault. Cove was really sad because of what you did. Lizzie sputtered before tilting her chin away from you with a defensive look. I didn't do anything. He just can't play right. Mommy always says that you should apologize if you know you upset someone, and you did. She groaned at your words, throwing her head back dramatically, but you knew your sister. You could tell that she knew you were right. Okay. I'll tell him I'm sorry the next time I see him. She glanced back to narrow her eyes at you. But you still can't tell Mom or Mommy about what happened. Alright, it's a deal. Looking relieved, Lizzie promptly left to go upstairs. You watched her disappear from view, hearing the faint sound of her bedroom door shutting soon after. You were pleased at how things had worked out. Lizzie agreed to apologize to Cole, which meant that soon they'd be okay with each other again. As okay as Lizzie and Cole would be with each other. The best part was that your parents hadn't found out you had gotten away with it. You retreated to your own room with spring in your step. Alright. It's it for today. Are you sure? Yes. Okay, let me see who's on. Can't go to Lucas' account. I think I'm Blue Sky Moods usually with it. Let's go there. Thank you for watching, everyone. We're gonna end stream here today. I kinda noticed that the colors of the game kinda fit very well to the rest of the color scheme of my designs. Alright, let me change to the other thingy. Stream ending stream. Here we go. Bye bye.